We have some follow-up before we actually get started with the episode. Someone actually likes our podcast.
Woo.
I know, it's surprising, and I'm making a lot of facial expressions. You can't see them.
I can't see all of them, but I can feel the surprise through the audio.
I'm also making like hand motions, and then because I'm like, I don't know what to say. I'm actually waving my arms up and down right now.
You just look like a conductor, and you're not doing anything.
Yes, like a musical performance conductor. That one. I don't have a stick or anything. I'm currently looking around for a stick, a wand. Is that what it's called? It's called a wand, right?
I always just thought it was called a conductor's wand.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway,
yeah.
So someone left a 5-star review on our iTunes, and this guy is named Mason M. Mason M, if you're listening, thank you for leaving a great review. The first sentence is, "This podcast is just plain great. Every segment is unique in its own way, and I always look forward to what's coming next. Their personalities complement each other extremely well, and the way they can comedically play off each other is fantastic. It really is fun and relaxing to listen to, and the variation of each episode keeps the format from getting stale. Definitely worth giving a listen. The segmented podcast, part of a balanced breakfast."
Wow, that's really nice.
Yes, I also looked up his name, and he said the exact same thing about every other podcast he likes. Just kidding. I'm joking. That was a complete. I didn't look his name.
I was like, wait, are you saying we got a spam bot?
No, but I really appreciate this comment. And also he used great punctuation and grammar, and he used the right form of compliment. So thank you, Mason M.
Wow, iTunes even is the crazy thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we were asking people to give us ratings on iTunes at the beginning of the show, but we stopped doing that. Speaking of which, give us a rating on iTunes. Give us a review. It really helps us out.
No,
also, check out.
Don't give Apple your money.
Don't give them your money. Give us your money. Patreon.com/segmentedfm, and just leave a kind review or a realistic review. If it's a bad podcast, then give it a 1 star. I don't care. Except I do care, because that'll balance it out. We would go from a 5-star podcast to like a 4.3 star podcast, and that's not good. Yeah, that's follow-up, and I think it's really cool.
Also, welcome to the first official segmented #ditch Skype podcast. That's right.
Right, we
are no longer
now
using the inferior service that is Skype. Now we're using the superior, not sponsored, application Discord.
Correct.
Which I recommend. If you go in the description and use discord.com/segmentedfm. FM, there you go.
There we go, Segmented FM.
You can get $500 off of making your own server, since they added the new microtransaction thing just yesterday. So,
yeah,
enjoy that.
Yesterday from when this is released, not yesterday from when we're recording it.
Right, yeah. So it's been in effect for a while. You already know about it.
We're actually the first podcast they contacted, because they were like, "Hey, we like your podcast." Actually, I'm pretty sure the Mason M works at Discord, and
no, I believe the thought process, Noah, was, hey, nobody watches this, so let's give the discount code to people that will never get it. So that way we can say, we're generous without actually giving people, $500 off of our service.
Yes. So the way that it get publicity is by telling people how generous they are, but it doesn't tell anyone because it doesn't matter, because this is being gone to like 10 people.
As the most convoluted, cheap publicity stunt I've ever heard of.
Hey, Discord knows where to put their money, and it's with us, Segmented FM.
Terrible advertising, if I'm being honest, but anyway.
Go to discord.com/segmentedfm or use our link in the description to get $500 off your first free server today.
First free server.
Segment 2.
Talking about trying new things.
Yes.
I recently started cultivating, I suppose is the word, a little pet named Moby. Moby the Scoby. Scoby stands for Symbiotic Colony of Bacteria and Yeast. And for those of you that aren't familiar, when you make kombucha tea, or there's a variety of things you can make out of this. But basically, what you do is you combine yeast and bacteria, and it makes this thing called a SCOBY, which is like this little biofoam gelatinous like disc. And then you put this in your drinks. You seal it up. You leave it for like 2-3 weeks. It's been used to make beers, milks, but now in age, hipsters use it to make tea called kombucha.
Delicious, by the way.
And so when I heard of it, I had kombucha and I was like, it's pretty good. I'm not a huge tea fan. But I was like, but what is that thing in there? And this was the first time I ever heard of it. And the guy who I was asking, who's a scientist, was like, that is a living organism in there. Right now, I have a blob of living, breathing life inside of my tea. And I'm like, that's awesome. And my first question was, does it grow? And it does. All it needs is some basic nutrients, some sugar, and a slightly acidic environment, and that thing will just keep growing and growing. And so if you look it up, scobies, they're gelatinous, and they're flat, and they're kind of gross looking. They kind of look like the top of a jellyfish.
Yeah, and they have like they do look like jellyfish. That's a very good way to describe it. They also have like weird tentacle things coming off of them. That's how I describe them. They're like hairs, kind of.
Once they get big enough, you could tell someone that this is a deep sea creature, and they would believe you.
Yes.
So they're awesome. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to cultivate the largest possible SCOBY by putting him in larger and larger environments. And right now he's still only about as the diameter of a baseball. But he's gonna get bigger. And I've already had some troubles. My first attempt, I had mold grow everywhere. It was gross.
Oh yeah, that happened to us too.
And yeah, so Moby the Scoby, he's gonna take a long time to grow, but I'm gonna keep you guys updated on how large he gets and what happens to him.
Yes, I love Moby the Scoby. And so how'd you come up with the name Moby? Is it a reference to the classic Moby Dick? And it is a large sea creature?
Yeah, I was going to say, someone actually gave it to me, and they were like, you were always talking about doing this. I'm just going to give you one. And I'm like, that's awesome. Because you can start your own by creating the correct environment for it to grow by itself, or someone can give you one, and you can grow it bigger.
Which is much easier.
Right, and you can cut off pieces of it, and then give it to someone else, and they can grow it. Anyway,
yes, like a virus.
I got it, and my first idea was like, all right, I'm gonna grow this huge, and I'm gonna make it into a pizza, and it's gonna be a SCOBY pizza, because you can cook them, and it.
What do they taste like?
It makes them sterile. You can actually get them to the texture of jerky, a bit like meat. People substitute it for raw fish in sushi. It's
that
a probiotic.
That does not sound pleasant.
It sounds delicious. I might do a taste test. No.
On the podcast.
But then
it's like, we're 3 years in this podcast. Okay, Moby, get over here. There's like, it's the size of your office, and you just like
I have this
dig
fish
into it.
tank.
Delicious. How big do you think it's actually gonna get?
I originally joked kiddie pool size.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing, but also that would be absolutely out of control.
Once it gets as large as the pie pan, it might get a little expensive almost to replenish him, because even though I'll only be replenishing his supply of food and nutrients he needs like every 2 or 3 weeks, it's gonna need a lot.
I feel like it's gonna be like an exponential growth, and by the time it's like the size of the pie tin or like a little larger, then it's gonna need even more, and it's gonna grow even faster.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if it grows depending on surface area, because if that's true, once it gets big, it's gonna like nearly double in size in the normal amount of time, and that would be ridiculous. So hopefully that happens.
Yes. So if you guys could please go to kickstarter.com/Moby the Scoby and donate to this cause.
Kickstart our massive SCOBY.
Hey, we'll be the first podcast to grow a SCOBY. Actually, that's not true.
We
that's
may have
definitely not true.
Hey. Maybe growing a very large Scoby could be an original thing. But as far as original things done on podcasts, the list is very, very slim.
Yes, there's a podcast called the Fermentation Podcast where they make a bunch of things such as beers and alcohols and stuff. Well, I'm assuming just by the name. And they have an episode 16, How to Make Kombucha, and it talks about Scoby.
Come on!
But they weren't nurturing it as a pet named Moby, so it's completely original. They were being educational, and we're being absolutely ridiculous. So, I'm actually really tempted to actually make a Moby the Scoby Kickstarter page.
Oh my god! Okay, if we do, link will be in the description or whatnot.
Yeah. Segment 3, we're going to talk about bracelets, because I felt like it, and this is a random topic to discuss. How's that for a segue?
Yeah, great segue. All right.
I think
yeah,
it's
whatever.
pretty awful,
I don't
and
care.
I'm really sad. I'm sorry. I'm a failure.
It's okay.
I can never segue a show again. Good thing this is called segmented and not segued. What if it's a podcast that consists of entirely just segues into the next thing?
Segued is a bad word, let alone name.
Speaking of bad words and names, here's the word of the day. It's pretty bad. The word is bad.
What does it mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, you're pretty bad at this, Noah.
Speaking of being bad at something, our next topic is something. Just kidding. I feel like the show Segway could definitely exist.
We're not gonna make a podcast called Segway.
That's a new segment, Tendo. A new segment is gonna be Segway,
where the goal is to veer it as quickly as possible from the topic we pick.
Wait, there's a podcast that does that already. There's like 3 or 4 different people, and they're all like comedians and stuff. They bring to the table what they want to talk about, and then the other people have to try to get them off that topic by like mentioning a segue to it, but then the other person has to like bring it back to their own topic.
Oh my goodness.
And that's like the whole entire time, and they're trying to screw them up.
See, that being a premise sounds really funny, but it's also basically what every podcast is anyway.
Yeah. I've heard like reviews of that talking about how every episode is essentially the same and it gets old after a bit, but I think it would be really fun to do like a few times. But so let's talk about bracelets. Basically, the reason I thought of this is because I just recently went through my keepsake box, which is where I also found Platia Vandoris, and I found this leather bracelet that my sister got from Ireland when she was studying abroad, and it has like a 3. It's like a star kind of, but only 3 points, and they're like intertwined. It's an Irish symbol, and I forget what it means, but all 3 points symbolize something. But it's a really cool bracelet, and I've been wearing it recently. And then I also have another one that I actually has the date. It's 2013, and I haven't taken it off since. Are there any bracelets that you wear? Do you still wear that one that you might explain soon?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I remember when I first met you in real life.
Yes.
I remember not being able to see one of your forearms because it was covered in bracelets. Is that still true?
It is no longer true, no.
Thank goodness. I want to be able to see your forearm.
Yes. Did I show you my tan line from that? I feel like I did, but you might not have remembered it.
No, I don't think I remember if you did.
Yeah, so basically I had it was completely pale underneath, and I was like, this is getting out of hand. So as soon as I got to 42 bracelets, I took all of them off except for this one. This was the very first one I have. It's from 2013, and I haven't taken it off since. It's accidentally fallen off sometimes when taking off gloves and coats and stuff, but I haven't taken it off, and I still think that counts. Would you say that counts?
Yeah.
Ah, sweet. Also, both of my forearms were covered with bracelets.
I don't know. That just sounds like being in shackles and chains to me.
Yes. I will leave a picture of us in the show notes. I will blur your face. Actually, I'll just remove your entire head.
Yeah. Just, use the background and make it look like I'm headless. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Just remove your entire head. That will be in the thing. So what happened to your, it was like a leather like a leather bracelet. It's like a cuff. You wore a
Well,
cuff.
first I'm gonna explain it. So I was going on a trip on vacation. This is the first time I ever went to kind of a larger city, like large city, and we were going downtown, kind of later at night, and my whole goal of the trip was to find a leather kind of cuff bracelet because I saw 1 or 2 people with them, and they looked awesome. And I'm talking 2 to 3 inches in width, so it's covering up like 3 inches of your arm, and solid like leather. Anyway, they look great, and I wanted one. I was pretty young. I kind of was still obsessed with defining myself with clothing and accessories. So we were walking around, and it's about 9 o'clock at night, and there's the stand that has bracelets, and we had been to 3 or 4 other stands, and they didn't have what I was looking for. Just kind of, they were all kind of small, fragile kind of gems or small rocks. But this one had them, and we ran over, and they were amazing. And we were like, hey, and they're like, sorry, you need to leave. We're packing up. We were supposed to close 10 minutes ago because it wasn't a building. It was a cart, like on wheels, and they were like folding everything up. And I was like, no, you don't understand. This is what we've been looking for the whole time. I need it. And they're like, all right, make it quick. You know, I'll give you like 30 seconds. So with all of the anxiety in my heart, I quickly picked one and had decided that it was both the best one and the worst one, because when asked to make a quick decision, I am terrible and I will never be satisfied. So we got it. It was like $10. It was
Wow.
It wasn't bad at all. I don't whether it was authentic or not, or they just got it shipped in from China the day before. I don't know. But the hard, kind of rubbery leather, thick metal button rivets. It has a dragon design on it. Basically, the story is I wore it to school for I don't even think it was a year. I think it was like half a year. 'Cause I
Really?
went back to school that summer. Yeah, I feel like it was after winter break, or it might have been the whole year. But then it was
we
at
met
that
in
point.
August of 2015, and you were wearing that.
Yeah,
You were wearing it then.
I wore it all summer after that. Maybe
Okay.
I've had it. Maybe I wore it for a year before that. But
It doesn't
then
matter. You had it for a bit.
I
You
had
don't have
it, and
anymore.
then it reached a point where I think part of it was I was kind of bored of it, but also it started chafing a lot in my arm.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I still don't
Especially
have
in the summer.
very large wrists. I still have itty bitty wrists. I can fit my pinky and my thumb around my wrist. But yeah, it just started rubbing too much. It was uncomfortable. So I just kind of stopped. And it was kind of at that moment that I realized, as much as I want like necklaces or bracelets or hats or glasses, you know, because I gotta define myself, you know, be this cool image, I kind of can't take it. It kind of always feels like I have a parasite on me. I'm very bad with accessories on my body. I think I just get tired of them, or they irritate me after a while, which is why I say it looks painful for you to be wearing so many bracelets.
Yeah. Well, it did get a bit irritating, but
Dedication.
I got over it. I was like, I'm going to put on every bracelet that I get. And so people kept bringing me bracelets. And it's funny because recently, like a month ago, someone brought me a bracelet. And they're like, I was like, oh, I don't wear bracelets anymore. And then they're like, oh, you don't? I'm like, no, I haven't worn bracelets in like over a year. They're like, oh, man. So basically, what's interesting is the fact that I was doing it just because I could. And it ended up being like iconic to my character. So, I mean, if you want that, do something out of the ordinary and you will be noticed. So yeah, that's, but also, speaking of wearing other things, you did wear a hat for a little bit. There's like a small period of time where you were wearing a hat.
I think there was about a month or two when I was wearing this really cool hat that I still like and have, but same thing. I had to carry it around. I didn't like how it felt on my head. I was just like, nah, just kind of hung it up. There was also, I think, a period of a week where I wore a big old scarf around, and it looked goofy and amazing, and I love it, and I want to do it again.
You need to get leg warmers. That's your next thing. Leg warmers.
I'll get leg warmers because some days it's freezing, by the way, where I'm at. But I sometimes still wear shorts just because I'm inside so much. When you think about it, the ratio of time that you're going to be cold compared to when you're going to be hot if you're wearing long pants, at least for me, it's tiny. It's like, why not just wear shorts? People will tell you're crazy, but leg warmers, now you've solved it. Now there's no problems. You can wear shorts year round.
Okay. How much are leg warmers?
You gotta buy me some. I'm gonna buy you some leg warmers for Christmas.
I'm gonna buy you some leg warmers, Tendo.
Not if I beat you to it.
Oh gosh, what's your address again? Just kidding.
Oh yes,
podcast.
My address.
I bet I could find it someplace. I know you sent it to me sometime.
I will send it to you inaudibly. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Leg warmers, man. I'm still waiting for you to try some and tell me how they.
I gotta get me some leg warmers. Actually, I think this year, for some reason, I wrote a Christmas list. Because for like 4 or 5 years, I've been like, I don't want anything. Please don't give me anything. And then people got me stuff anyway. I'm like, I don't want or need any of these things. So this year I was like, I'm gonna write a list of things that I all slightly want / need. And you know what? I think leg warmers was on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you some.
Aw. If you actually do, you're the best, Noah. No, what if I got you ones, but I tried to find the ugliest ones possible.
Just buy me any pair of leg warmers and you have accomplished your job. Because I do not like leg warmers, but we'll see.
How about I get mine first, and if I love them, then I'll get you some leg warmers. How about that, Noah? For the podcast.
For the podcast? Okay, I'll buy you a Christmas gift. It'll be leg warmers, and we'll talk about it on the podcast, I guess. On the Christmas special.
All right.
Actually, speaking of clothing that we wore just for like a period of time, I wore fingerless gloves for a bit.
Hold up there, Ash Ketchum. Not gonna catch them all that quickly. Gotta wait a few years, then you can be cool. Oh, but seriously.
Yeah, this was like 2 years ago, and then I did it again for like a week, and then I stopped wearing them. But honestly, they're comfortable. I really like them, and they look dope. Yes, they did. No, they didn't. But also, they kept my hands warm. So
yeah, but not your fingers. They didn't keep the extremities, warm. They kept the part of the hand that is never cold warm.
But my hands were warm, and I could still do things with my fingers.
I will admit, they look pretty cool. Grady.
I actually do really like fingerless gloves. I think they do look really cool.
It's probably the preteen 10-year-old speaking in me, but they look pretty cool.
Yeah, and the thing is, I made my own. So I just took normal gloves and I snipped off the fingers.
The sleeves of
yes.
gloves.
If you watch my MLG Quest video, the fingerless gloves I put in there, those are those. So those are the ones that I wore.
My goodness. Let me give this a look. Oh, yep, there you are. Fingerless gloves.
Those are my fingerless gloves. Yep. And I was rocking them too.
Man, are those wind pants? Are those wind pants with sandals?
I don't know, but probably. I don't know what wind pants are. I think those are just normal pants.
They're the pants that when you walk, they go.
Oh yes, those are not those.
No, okay, I think they're just striped sweatpants.
Yes, they're striped sweatpants, and they look awful. But they matched my hat. So that conversation with starting with bracelets kind of turned into just clothing that we wore for spells of time, which I feel like everyone goes through a stage where they wear a certain thing. And for you, it was a bracelet. For me, it was 42 bracelets. But the reason I brought up bracelets is because I've been wearing these 2 bracelets, and I really like them. Having 2 bracelets is kind of nice. I'm not saying they look amazing, but I mean, they're cool. And this one means a lot to me. Tendo, guess what we're doing?
Oh, no.
For segment 4.
Oh, no.
It's 60-second improv story.
Oh! No,
Yes,
did you know
yes,
this
it
is
is.
one of my favorite segments on the podcast?
I didn't know that, but I did actually assume so.
Yeah, you
because
probably
seem
seen
to
that
like it every time.
behind when we break like a show or a movie, which we've still only done once. This is probably my favorite segment.
The rules are, we will come forth with a name, a place, and a nonsense word. The other person, their co-host, has to come up with a story that involves all 3 of those things, and only have 60 seconds. Today, we actually are not coming up with the names in nonsense words and locations ourselves, but they come from our wonderful Patreon supporter, Malcolm Spencer.
You bet.
Everyone give him a hand. Boy, oh boy. Look at those peaks on that bar.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Tendo, you're going to start.
Yep.
Here, I'm going to send it to you. These are your things. Try to pronounce them, because I do not know.
All right.
Chandragupta.
No, don't say it. I'm not going to look at them until 60 seconds starts.
Wait, shouldn't you tell us what they are then? First?
Hold on, no, I got to say them. Yeah, that's true. So the name is Chandragupta. Chandragupta Maurya.
I think it's pronounced Chandragupta.
Chandragupta Maurya. Maurya.
Which is actually...
We'll try.
Yeah, he spelled it wrong, but that's okay.
The place is the Cinnabon Supply Closet. And the nonsense word is hin. H-I-N. H-I-N. That's gotta be the most creative nonsense word, because we always go for like glorpa slorpa dooba doo. But no, I think hin is the best nonsense word.
Yeah, because it's like short, simple, and it's still nonsensical. Okay, you have 60 seconds on the clock now.
All right. There was once a little Cinnabon pastry. His name was Garn. His name was Garn. Garn the Cinnabon. And his idol was Chandragupta Maurya, who is the Cinnabon that's like on the front of his box of like Cinnabon. He like represents all of the Cinnabons, and he loves him, and he's his idol. But one day there was like this person that came into his house, which is the Cinnabon supply closet, and he took away the box. And since he's a Cinnabon, he doesn't have a very large brain, so he thought since the box was taken away, Chandragupta Maurya was gone forever. So what he did was he went out and he searched for the legendary hin, which is actually just
15 seconds.
A nickname for the cinnamon roll, because he's a Cinnabon. So that they called him Hin for whatever. He's the legendary Cinnabon. He's like this great monster, and so he awakens him, and then it turns into a giant cinnamon roll, and it kills all of the humans.
Done. Okay, that was good. Congratulations.
Yay! Sorry, I had to finish the story.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good 60 seconds.
I had an idea for Hin, and then it was bad, so I switched it halfway. And the second idea was worse. So,
and the second idea was worse, so...
That's improv, though. You come up with an idea, then you're like, wait, that's terrible. Come up with a new one. Wow, I'm not any smarter. All right.
That's the thing about making decisions and thinking real fast. It's very difficult. Okay, do you want to control the timer for me?
Yes. Can I
read
the next ones to you, or how many are there?
Oh, here. There's just one more.
Oh, okay.
This is mine. I already know them, but I'd like you to tell them to me.
All right. So, technically, you don't know it, but anyway. So, what Noah has to do is he has to use the word, or the name, Ben Stiller. The place
Ben Stiller.
Is a storm drain.
Storm drain.
And the nonsense word is Hagoffrey, which
I really like.
Sounds like
that's a good word.
Sounds like all 4 of the most popular Harry Potter words put together. Anyway, are you ready?
I am ready.
3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, so Ben Stiller was in the film Secret Life of Walter Mitty, which was not great, but that's okay. this is actually a sequence from the extended edition where he gets stuck in a storm drain, and he has to get out somehow. And the only way he could do it is by imagining that he's in this better place, but he's still stuck in the storm drain. And so basically, he meets this swamp character who got
30.
flushed down into the storm drain, okay? And his name was Hagafri, or Hagafri, however you want to pronounce it. And he helps him get out, and then Ben Stiller goes on to make millions of dollars from this Secret Life of Walter Mitty short film bonus clip. That was awful and way under 60 seconds.
Yeah,
and
no, it's
I'm really
fine.
sorry.
Still had 13 seconds left, but I think that's fine on its own. I thought that was pretty good. No, I still have to watch that film. Ben Stiller's Secret Life of Walter Mitty, featuring
Yes.
Hagafri, deleted
Hagafri.
bonus scene.
It is the best bonus scene.
Yeah, that's in the Blu-ray golden special edition. Yeah.
Yeah, the 8-disc special edition Blu-ray collector's edition of Secret Life of Walter Mitty. So, Malcolm Spencer, thank you so much for these. These were great. I'm sorry I completely butchered your great things, especially the word Hagafri. I just turned into a swamp character.
It's all right. That's
But boy oh boy, those were great, and I am really glad you gave them to us. So if you guys have any suggestions, email them to us at segmented.fm@gmail.com, or comment on this episode with the formula name, place, nonsense word, or tweet at us with the link provided in the show notes.
Woo!
Segment 5 is a segment called What If, or Will You Press the Button, or Would You Press the Button, whatever. So basically, it's a game where an idea is presented to you.
It's a extremely positive or extremely negative idea that then has a catch, and you have to decide whether the pros outweigh the cons.
Exactly. So, for example, this is one from the actual website called Will You Press the Button? Link in the show notes. You have the ability to read minds, but you can't turn it off. Would you press the button?
I've heard
say
this
yes
one
or no?
so many times. Absolutely not. There's just
Absolutely not. That would
reading
be
minds.
obnoxious.
Even if you wanted to, even when you could, it would cause problems. It causes
would.
the exact same problems as time travel, in which you can only go into the past. You just keep creating layers of terribleness, and every time you try to fix it, you make it worse. So,
And actually, I'm surprised. A third of the people said they wouldn't, and 2/3 of the people said they would, which is interesting to me.
all right, I got one for you, Noah.
Okay, give it to us, bro, Chach.
You can bring one person back from the dead, and they will live for 25 more years. But your lifespan will be reduced by 25 years.
No, because I think that there is much to say about death and the permittity of it.
I think this is an interesting conundrum. No, I wouldn't, because selfishness and valuing your life over others. But you could bring back a historical figure for 25 years, which is a lot. And you can try to live the healthiest life possible. And when you're on your deathbed, you know you're about to die, you can be like, hey, I would have been this old. I lived a lot longer than I thought I would have. Or, I'm only 40. What the heck happens when I'm, 65? That's terrifying. Something like that.
Would you die in the same way?
That I don't know. The intricacies are difficult. I feel like it would just... I don't think it'd be like if there was an accident, like kind of how I suggested. I think whenever your body would naturally do it, considering the conditions of when you press the button, it chooses that date beforehand, and that can't be changed. So if I was really unhealthy right now, and if I press the button, I might instantly die, because I'm going to die in the next, less than 25 years.
13 years.
Oh.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's right.
That's really sad. I'm sorry. I don't want you to die in 13 years.
I don't think I will.
Well.
Anyway.
Okay, was that one that you created
No.
yourself, or was that one you found from the
This
button?
is still
Okay.
from the website. We'll still
Okay.
do some from here.
Yeah, we'll do one more from this, and then we'll do ours because we've gone for almost an hour. So
Yeah.
okay. So the next one that I have from the website is: what if you attain perfect athletic prowess, but you switch into the opposite gender?
Absolutely.
I'd say yes.
Just when you do the athletic things?
I do not know because it does not specify. I think it's more of a you attain. Oh wait, it says you attain, not retain.
So just every
So
time.
it's attain. No, it's attain. So it's here. You turn into. So in this case, we'd both turn into women. Actually, this is kind of confusing now with gender identity and stuff. I feel like this is a political statement.
No, I feel like
We're making.
basically it would happen, and you'd be like, I'm a Olympic athlete, but also I feel like I'm trapped in a body I don't want to be in. My life is miserable.
But you actually are trapped, literally. But I don't think it would be that bad. I mean, it would kind of suck,
I
but
think it would suck. Like right away, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm the best at this," but then mentally, you'd be like, "This sucks." I mean, yeah, it's an interesting experience, but to live the rest of my life like this, you know?
nah, okay. I think I would press the button. You'd say no. That's fine.
Okay, I got some that I wrote. First one is I got a few bad ones, but a few really good ones, in my opinion. So you are the biggest music artist, of all time. But
Wow.
you're the biggest music artist of your least favorite genre.
No, because frankly, I don't care for fame, and if I had to play music that I absolutely hate, it's not worth doing.
There you go. I like that answer.
What would you say? Would you agree, or
Yeah, I'd probably agree, because my least favorite music, I believe, is tasteless and talentless. I know music that I don't like that I could learn to like just because I'm not exposed to it, but like my least favorite is just like it wouldn't even be fun to create or learn to like.
yeah, agreed.
All right.
Okay, so mine is one that I created, and what if you, Tendo, got 1 million subscribers, but you had to eat 3 entire cans of Spam every day?
100%. Don't even have
You
to
do
think
that?
about it. I would
It's
do
raw.
it.
Raw Spam. You can't
raw
cook it up in
Spam?
any way. Yes.
3.
Entire cans of Spam. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
One at every meal.
because, okay, a year, I can see it. Like, you know what? Totally worth it for my success. But I think my well-being and my mental health would drop straight off a cliff after, like, a critical point that's, like, past a year. And I would totally give up every last subscriber to stop it. Just my opinion, because 3 a day is a lot. If it was one
That's
a day,
awful.
or if it was 3 a day prepared in any way, I could do it. But you know what? There's some workarounds. You know, there's way to, do you maintain it as long as you keep eating the Spam? If that way you can transfer your fame to a different place and then cease eating the Spam. But I don't know how complex this is.
So you wouldn't push the button
I wouldn't.
or say yes?
I wouldn't.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, here's
good
my
answer.
next one. What if you can possess any living being? Which I
like
don't,
Super Mario Odyssey.
I don't know if it's I didn't have that in mind, but yeah, totally. But you don't have a body of your own, ever. There's no origin of your physical existence, so you can only live through other things. See, I like this one because there's a lot of possibilities, so there may be ways that you can kind of get around it and still be able to live with it.
I'd say yes. But what if you possess someone and then you can blackmail them and say, hey, I'm possessing your body and I will give it back to you if you find me a good host. Then you turn into a villain that's from an alien film. So, yes, I'd say yes. I'd do that.
Oh, yeah. I know this terrible film that was, I believe, was made by someone who made like some teen like dystopian flick, but it's like
Oh yeah,
about
those are the best.
it's about like aliens coming to Earth, and they can only possess human bodies, and one of them like they like become friends with the host or whatever, um, and then at the end, in order to give the perfect happy ending, they're like, "Oh man, look at this dead body of this person that's long gone." But their body's still in perfect condition, and they're very attractive, and also match all of the features and the voice of that alien. You can possess this, and you could live as a human now. And it's like, that's stupid.
So basically, by saying yes to this, you turn yourself into a stupid sci-fi flick. Is that what you're saying?
I got that idea from that terrible movie, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes. I actually only saw the movie through a review of someone on YouTube who was talking about how terrible it was. So that's that.
Okay. So, my next one is, what if you could consistently and, like, with efficiency, make weekly videos for your YouTube channel, but they would have to be Minecraft command block videos.
Weekly?
Weekly, but you could do it. Like, essentially,
Right, but they
you
have
are
to
given
be Minecraft command block videos.
Yes, but you have time to do
Yeah,
it.
like it's totally plot. Not in a million years.
No,
Not in a million years. Because I will take good art that I enjoy making or I enjoy watching any day over daily Minecraft videos. Even the highest of quality Minecraft command block videos. I don't hate them. I could watch Nope Name all day, but
Oh, Nope Name's the best.
that every week, whether I could do it or not, even if it was easy, like I just snapped my fingers and it happened, no, I could not do it.
Okay.
Okay, here's my next one. This is the bad one I hate. So what if your idol, a person that you idolize in the most superficial way possible, went to the same school or workplace as you, but you are never allowed to interact with them?
No.
No?
No. What's the point of that? I mean, it's like,
you would be
hey,
around them. You would be surrounded by whatever they do. You can contact them indirectly, but you couldn't.
No, you couldn't contact them indirectly. You couldn't do anything with them. You can't interact with them at all.
I mean, technically, you could interact with people around you that interact with them, and you could influence them, but you couldn't. I didn't. Come
But
up
is
with
it
very
worth
solid
it?
rules.
I mean, I don't think it would be worth it.
No, I don't think so either.
I'd say no.
Yeah, that was a bad
But
one.
I could also see the advantage to people saying yes, or the reasoning behind it. So, okay, what's your next one?
My last one, which I really like this one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what if every person you met, Noah, remembered what you looked like, and they remembered your personality and how great you were and everything about you. Every person you meet, but not a single person would ever remember your name or remember it correctly. So essentially, you become a superstar with every single person you meet over the course
without
of a year.
Without a name.
But nobody would be able to recall that your name is Noah. So in a way, you'd be...
I understand.
Right.
I'm just thinking about it. I'd say no. Because I've had people mess up my name and it stings. And I hate it. But I've also had people completely forget who I am, and it's also sucks, but also, if people, like, I'm fine with the level of intimacy that I reach with people. That's not very much. They know my name, I know their name, and they know that I do X, and I know that they do X, and another thing.
Right.
I'd say no. What about you? What would you think? What would you say?
The problem I have with it is it'd be cool to be like a nameless, like, kind of vigilante thing, like, especially on the internet where people will talk about what you're like, but they'll be like, they're so mysterious, that you could jump around doing all these different things and people would remember you and everything you're involved in. But the problem is reminding close friends and relatives every day of my name would be really draining and kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like they would be unable to, and they would feel bad. They'd feel responsible. And
Yeah.
you'd be like, no, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's just, the deal I made with the devil. It's okay. You'd come up with systems eventually. But even still,
the thing is,
the principle
what if
of it.
what if you had a name tag with your name on it the whole time?
Oh, snap.
And you could never take it off.
Hold on.
The thing is,
what if
what?
people were able to define a name for you, that your name would be your own, but you'd keep it to yourself, so people were able. Oh crud, did I just make a super easy loophole?
You made a very easy loophole. I'd say yes then.
Okay, no. Well, no, because that doesn't apply, because any name given to you they will forget.
Yeah, they just don't know your name. But then you'd be starting referred to as you or that guy.
Yeah,
They'd address you as they do in sign language.
They find a trait for you that they were able to describe
in sign language.
Everyone
Because
know.
Okay, with sign language, you can spell out your whole name and it's like blah 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 blah. This is my name. But then in conversation and stuff, you get an attribute. So it's the first letter of your name. So like N, and then I say N design because I design things. Or someone that I know, her name was Kelly and her name was K soccer. So that's how most people communicate with names in sign language. So that's kind of how it would be. It would be the guy who does that thing. That's how it would be known. But that's very confusing. Tendo, would you please take us out?
All right. So you approach the alleyway. It's exactly 11:13 at night. You found the place. You're sure of it. You can hear distant voices, so the building must be near. You come up to a doorway at the end of the alleyway. There's a man with a large leather jacket, no hair on the top of his head, big goatee. He asks you if you have what he's been looking for, and you tell him you've got it. And he asks, you say, of course I am. And he says, how can I be sure? Sure enough, you pull up your hoodie sleeve, and there on your arm is a bright pale patch, away from all the dark skin. And you look up at him and you wink and you say, it's me. I was just describing how you go through drug deals, Noah.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, when you talked about this guy with the leather jacket, I was gonna imagine that you were gonna buy the bracelet from him or sell him the bracelet. But I mean, that works too.
That was my 10.
Did you just go Super Saiyan?
I did go Super Saiyan.